How's this? Better? Hello, check. Better? Better? Hello, check. Hello, check. Better audio? Still low? Good. Thumbs up. Better? Better? Maxing out. Hello, hello. Channel 1's all the way up. Good to go? Okay. All right. I think this may be the 2-minute warning. So, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2-minute warning, Judy. Talk to her because so I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I'm just telling you what's going on, why it looks like.
No, but I get it.
Yeah, the doc said I could take it off yesterday, but
I just may leave.
gonna be right here.
I may leave it on the rest of my life and just buy a shoe that.
Steve, I don't think
For
you're
my
gonna be
right
speaking,
foot.
but if you get questions, you can step up and so folks can keep coming this way.
They said they were, but now he just walked up there, so I don't know what's going on.
And on this side, Lauren, I think you'll be behind the mayor in sort of this middle area. Brandon, if you can come up this way. And then if folks can keep coming this way, we want to have a tight background. I'm gonna call from the back, so you can step away and then Lauren, if you can come to this sort of middle, we'll have our speakers. So good to go. And then Sam's here. Phyllis. Is Phyllis here? Where did Phyllis go?
Lost Phyllis.
It's not going to be over there for him. Are you guys basically ready? Okay. So we can go.
Central Indiana is bracing for a tremendously cold winter storm this weekend. In the coming days, temperatures could drop 20 degrees below zero with wind chill. That kind of cold requires all residents to take precaution ahead of the holidays. To avoid injury, the city and public health officials are encouraging residents to stay indoors whenever and as much as possible. But if you plan to travel, plan ahead. Temperatures will remain safe until late Thursday. Frankly, at that point, they'll fall off a cliff. So if you still need to shop for gifts, or if you need to shop for groceries, take care of it as soon as possible, and certainly no later than tomorrow evening. When you must travel, make sure you have enough gas to get to where you're going, dress appropriately, and cover up all skin whenever you're outdoors. If you have pets, be sure and let them inside and keep them inside. If you have exterior faucets or water pipes, disconnect and empty them so as to avoid a burst. The city will be right there alongside you, with you. DPW is ready to attack whatever snow might come our way, while several Indy Parks facilities will operate as warming centers for those who find themselves without heat. We'll get details on all of those in just a moment. And while it goes without saying, our city's heroic first responders and emergency personnel will continue keeping our residents safe 24/7 throughout the weekend. But don't be the reason that they have to make a trip. Stay safe and avoid all unnecessary travel. Let's all work together to make this yet again another safe Christmas weekend. So with that, I'll hand things off to meteorologist for Indianapolis National Weather Service, Sam Lashley. Sam?
Thank you, Mayor. So to bring everybody up to date on this developing situation, we are expecting a winter storm here Thursday night through Christmas Eve. This is not going to be your typical winter storm that we're used to here in central Indiana. The biggest impacts from this storm are going to be the wind, the bitterly cold temperatures, and the wind chills that we haven't seen since almost 2014. So bottom line up front, wind gust with this system could approach 55 miles per hour at times. Wind chills will drop to as low as 30 below. We could even in outlying areas see it lower than that. We're really concerned with a flash freeze. We'll get into this in just a minute, but a flash freeze means that the temperature drop is going to be so sudden and so great, up 20 to 30 degrees, that any water on the roads when we transition over to snow will freeze very quickly. So that's going to create a lot of issues especially right around rush hour tomorrow night. Blowing snow will then become a problem tomorrow night into Friday. We don't want you to focus on the snow accumulations. There will be accumulations anywhere from 2 to 5 inches across central Indiana, more than likely 2 to 3 inches here in the metro area. But it's only going to take a little bit of snow to be blown around by those winds. So that's going to be our main concern. So moving forward here, our timeline, again, 4 to 7 p.m., right around rush hour, unfortunately, is when that transition will occur. We will have rain out ahead of this system, maybe just a brief period of sleet, ice pellets that fall right as the front moves through. Again, we're looking at a 20 to 30 degree temperature change in just a few hours. That sleet will quickly transition over to a wet, heavy snow that will then transition to a heavy, drier snow, and that is what will become problematic with the winds. It's very well possible most of the snow could be over by midnight tomorrow night, just that short window of heavy snow, but then the winds will intensify, especially as we get into Friday, and that blowing and drifting snow will then continue into Saturday before we finally start to see an improvement late Christmas Eve night into Christmas Day, when it will just be cold across the area. Maximum wind gust, the chart we show here, this is just an average, but we are going to see those wind gusts 50 to 55 miles per hour in spots, and that's going to transition to wind chills anywhere from 20 to 30 below zero for all of central Indiana, and some areas, as I said earlier, could drop to as low as 35 below. What makes this unique is the historical perspective of this event. We don't see these wind chills for this long very often, and climatologically speaking, 4 to 6 hours per winter is about all we will see wind chills at 25 to 30 below. We're going to see probably 8 to 10, maybe even 12 hours of those wind chills with this system. So be prepared for that. Any time outside, just 5 to 15 minutes, exposed skins can become frostbitten very quickly. So for snowfall amounts, again, we don't want you to focus on these amounts specifically. It's going to be very difficult to even measure given the winds we're expecting. In general, 3 to 5 inches across central Indiana is the most likely amounts. Some of our computer models are trending a little lower. So sort of a best case scenario for central Indiana would be 2 to maybe 3 inches. But again, a powdery snow by the time it's done, that will be blown around. Visibility is reduced to a quarter mile or less, which could create near blizzard conditions. A true blizzard, we need to see those conditions for 3 hours. Sustained, we may not reach that, but it's going to be all intense just like a blizzard. Worst case scenario, again, the higher amounts of our range, 4 to 6 inches, but again, I think 2 to 3 is our where we're going to be looking for this event. So do what you can now to prepare. As the mayor said, take all the precautions. Other experts are going to talk here about what to do, but now's the time to prepare. Anytime after 4 p.m. tomorrow here for central Indianapolis area is going to be too late. And just again, winter storm warning in effect for all of central Indiana for this unique event. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Lauren Rodriguez, Deputy Mayor for Public Health and Safety.
Thank you. As the mayor said, we can all work together to make this a safe and uneventful holiday weekend. One way we can do that is to check up on older or vulnerable residents and neighbors. Remind them to only use conventional methods to heat their homes. Don't use an open oven or open flame for extended periods of time. If a resident has lost heat to their home or apartments, there's going to be several Indy Parks locations open to facilitate and serve as warming centers. Director Boyd will be up next to list those parks. Residents who are experiencing homelessness should go to one of 2 Wheeler Mission shelters, the men's shelter located on 520 East Market Street, and the women and children's shelter at 3208 East Michigan. Their guidelines will be temporarily relaxed to allow for more people to access their shelter services. Because just to make it clear, 20 below zero isn't only cold, it's extremely dangerous. At these temperatures, frostbite can occur in just minutes, but there are plenty of easy ways we can help each other avoid the worst. With that, I'm going to hand things over to Director Boyd for Indy Parks.
Thank you, Lauren. So community members can use our park family centers as warming centers during our regular hours. In addition, we will be having extended hours at 3 centers. So Washington Park Family Center will have extended hours from 4 p.m. Thursday all the way through 8 a.m. Sunday, December 25th. There will be cots and other basic supplies available for those that need to stay overnight at that facility. The address at Washington Park Family Center is 3130 East 30th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana 46218. Garfield Park Borello Family Center and Thatcher Park Family Center will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday, December 23rd, and also from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, December 24th. The addresses for Garfield Park are 2345 Pagoda Drive, Indianapolis, Indiana, and then Thatcher Park is 4649 West Vermont Street. Thank you. Next up is Brandon Herget, Director of Department of Public Works.
Thank you, Director Boyd, and good evening, everyone. I'm going to briefly touch on a couple of operational logistical issues and then also an update on solid waste. Tomorrow, beginning at 11 o'clock, we are going to have 2 shifts, starting at 11, of over 100 crew members, deploying 76 trucks across the county. Those trucks are going to be equipped with both plows and salt treatment, and that salt treatment, depending on rain patterns and shifting to snow patterns, will begin hopefully around the 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock hour tomorrow afternoon. Those crews will have an overlap in the overnight hours, so there's not going to be a gap in service as we continue to fight the snow well into the evening and late hours of tomorrow night. We're going to continue to manage that process throughout the weekend with the holiday and throughout Monday as well, with the Colts game scheduled to be downtown on Monday evening. So the operations team is planning out that far in advance, looking at these crews and making sure that we have those assets deployed as necessary. Additionally, our forestry crews will continue to maintain access to our warming centers that Director Boyd just outlined at our parks facilities, and as necessary, we'll continue to manage trees and limbs that come down with the high winds and ice. Finally, our snow fight viewer will be live tomorrow beginning at 11 a.m., so residents can access that via the city's website and view what streets have been plowed and the latest information there. That's it from an operations standpoint. Additionally, on Friday, due to the severe cold, we are unfortunately not going to be able to provide solid waste services So solid waste services will be adjusted to a double pickup schedule the following Friday, December 30th. So if that impacts you, December 30th, you will have access to a double trash service day. And finally, with it being exceptionally cold, we just ask that you look out for your neighbors, look out for one another, look out for our DPW drivers. They want to get home for the holidays just like everybody else this weekend. I want to specifically thank Steve for being here from AFSCME and the entire DPW operations crew. Thank you.
So you can check for our regular center hours on our website. Those are not changing. The extended hours are going to be for 3 centers: Washington Park, Garfield Park, and Thatcher. So Washington Park is going to be open from 4 p.m. with extended hours all the way through Sunday, December 25th. For Garfield Park and Thatcher, both will be open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Friday, and then again from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Get that?
So Wheeler, they have 2 locations, and it's separated by gender. So we are the men's shelter and then the women's and children, and they will accept people in. Typically, they have rules to allow people in, but they're relaxing all those rules during this time. Yes. Through Sunday.
Yeah, I think as far as deploying salt as an asset, that's just going to be a judgment call based on the weather patterns. So as was discussed, we have our best estimates, and that's why, as I phrased it, these are our best estimates today, that 3 to 4 o'clock range. I think that's best case scenario. That gives us a window to actually drop that treatment, because there is a possibility that treatment won't work given pavement temperatures, the amount of rainfall, because it's possible that that rain can just wash that down the drain. So. It's really hard to say until we know exactly what we're looking at tomorrow. That's why we've got the plan in place to have the drivers and the assets available. Trucks are going to be rolling beginning at 11 o'clock, and it's just, are they told to start dropping or not? So the first shift begins at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and again, those are going to be staggered shifts, so there's overlap in the evening, so there's no gap. Those are A shift, B shift, 12-hour shifts. I see Imani shaking her head there, and I assume we can get you all that information, and I believe we've got plans to make our garages accessible tomorrow as well. So.
Yeah, great question. AES Indiana has implemented its severe storm plan. We started on Monday. We've had daily meetings, and we do have extra crews, contractors on hand. We also have customer service available to help answer questions. We don't know what the situation will be until the storm actually hits, but we are prepared, and we'll have our crews working quickly and safely as they can to make sure that the power is restored. Is that Angela?